They don't know what they took. I mean, to them it was just another thug, another black man with a mental illness that they got off the streets. But he was so much more than that to us, you know. He was their dad, he was my soon-to-be husband, he was a son, a brother. I mean, he was just so much. And yet all of them went home to their families. And no one has called to say, oh, I'm sorry, or, you know, we didn't mean for it to happen that way, or nothing. You know, nothing has come about of it. They got away with murder.
Now we want to go to some breaking news out of Greenville County, where a man was shot and killed tonight by Greenville County deputies. The sheriff says he was
victim? Don't let nobody forget that.
This is an issue. It's something that's happening over and over, and it's predominantly happening to black people.
Greenville County 911, what's the location of your emergency?
Yes, I need somebody to escort me out my house. Me and my baby mother, we have a difficulty with each other. And I see somebody come help me up premises for our household, because I feel like I'm trying to do something stupid.
Put the knife down.
I'm trying my best to do the right thing right now.
Okay.
Before I snap out and splash out and hurt anybody.
Put the knife down.
We reviewed the case file. The investigation has been completed, and we come to the conclusion that there is no charges available to us to pursue that we could prove beyond a reasonable doubt to any and all of the officers involved in this particular shooting.
Most officers never have an issue, you know, their whole career. They don't have issues with excessive force. They don't have issues where situations escalate to where they need to use force. But the ones that you have issues with, they tend to have a lot of issues. And that's why I truly think it's important to hold the wrongdoers accountable, because I think that it enhances public safety. And it also enhances safety for the other officers that they have to work around.
I am the cops. Ambulance, please. All right, where's the gun? Where's the gun? All right, don't move it. Are you the only one here? What's wrong with you, man? I'm here. Bob, call the what's wrong with you? Get the ambulance here. Where are you hit? In my groin and my fucking chest. The fuck you doing, man? You pointed a gun at me, man. You were in my house. Oh, send me 1051.
There is, unfortunately, there is often a very natural, a very understandable, and also a very counterproductive tendency within policing to assert that police actions are correct without looking any deeper. That's problematic. Every good police agency should be open to analyzing what's actually happening so that it can determine whether improvements are appropriate or necessary. Sometimes, even when every individual shooting is unquestionably legally and ethically justified, there might still be some problematic patterns that we can identify and that we can use to reduce the number of shootings.
By positioning himself directly in front of the vehicle and yelling verbal commands that the suspect probably can't hear, the agent has escalated a situation where a nonviolent criminal is attempting to escape into a deadly force situation.
You on top of the stairs, put your hands up! Place both hands up in the air. step back to the sound of my voice.
I believe that the academy is one of the most critical components in the criminal justice profession. If it doesn't start well, you probably won't end well. So we try to make this a good start of this profession. A policeman has to do so many different things. They talk to so many kinds of people in so many kinds of situations. So you have to know a little bit about a lot of things, because you end up being the catch-all for all types of situations.
So what happens here?
We try to replicate as best we can all types of situations here. But one thing I cannot replicate, as much stress as it probably is on a new young recruit because they're nervous about being here, they know we're not going to kill them. They know we're not going to beat them up. So as much stress as we put them under, it is still not the same as what's going to happen to them once they get out there. And so we have to take it as best we can to teach and replicate, but then realize that we're trying to prepare you for when that day happens, that you have to put yourself in that situation. Then are you ready? Are you prepared to then react and to make a good decision?
You know, we don't create situations, we respond to situations, and we're trained to use what force is necessary to perfect an arrest. And my thought has always and will be, if you point a gun at one of my deputies, we're going to shoot you. Now, we had rather you to surrender peacefully and go with us very peacefully, but we're trained to use what force is necessary. And so our first thought is verbal commands: drop the weapon, drop the knife, drop the gun. And we expect and hope within ourselves that people respond to our verbal commands. That stops the threat if they do that.
My son, Jameer, now, when he sees them, he's like, I hate them, Mama. I don't like the police. You know, they killed my daddy and took my daddy away from me. And I try not to have him have that mindset, but it's the truth. I mean, they did. I mean, it's like if I called you today and I needed help, but I was walking around and if I was screaming and hollering, are you gonna kill me in front of my kids too?
The police isn't being held accountable. All they have to say is they fear for their life, and they're not gonna be arrested, they're not gonna be charged, they're not going to jail. We have to fight, we have to hold them accountable. We have to get justice. We have to teach them that they can't just kill us, they can't just pull out their gun and murder us and say, I was in fear for my life. Like, when is it going to stop?
Change is difficult, particularly with entrenched bureaucracies like police agencies. They can be very, very slow boats to turn, but public pressure and public attention are necessary prerequisites for police reform. And that's something that we've seen over and over again in the history of American policing.
It's really not one or the other. You can have reasonable force that's allowed and also hold excessive force accountable. And really the only people who are going to be adversely affected by increased accountability are going to be the bad actors that need to be punished in the first place.
I'm going to send you somebody out there to help you. Are you going to have to go to the hospital, do you think?
No, I'm good. I'm straight.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Hey, son. I love you. No, just so you know, I love you. I love you too, Jamali.